This is Black Timing, Karl Hinds 2012 Ill Flavor Records. I just want to welcome all the haters that's downloaded this. You know, a bare man sitting in a room listening to this right now, trying to tear shit apart.
It was an interesting time for me personally, and for us collectively as a label. We were obviously going through a transition period. And I say that because up until that point, supporters of the label just typically had to go to an independent record store and purchase our music on vinyl. But the music industry was going through a transition period, and we were being told that vinyl was dying or vinyl was dead. So Black Timing was the first project we put out that wasn't available on vinyl, which meant you couldn't go and buy it in a record store. You had to download it digitally from our website. You could get the CD version as well, but either way you had to go to illflavor.com to do it. So we knew that typically our supporters were vinyl consumers, so we weren't sure if they were going to take the transition over to downloading our music to support.
Hey try, catch dudes on the blind side, caught up in the limelight, thought that the baby Karl Hinds killed off in my twilight. But the way that I verbally abuse all these new kids, got these young boys called a child line. To align yourself up against me is like top death in a childlike suicide.
Through my entire career, every single piece I released was on vinyl, which meant that I had to go through distribution companies to get the music out. And they weren't capturing the information of people supporting our music or our label. So the thinking behind Black Timing being a download, we'd offer it for free. Customers just had to go to the website, type in their email address, give us their first name and last name, click continue, go to their email inbox and look for an email from Ill Flavor Records, click on the email and click on the link inside the email, and the mixtape will start to download to their device. In that way we were able to capture the customers of Ill Flavor and start a mailing list, which meant that we could have a one-to-one sort of interaction with our consumers. I think because we were going through a transition, I wanted Black Timing to be a project that kind of highlighted collaborations that I ordinarily wouldn't be associated with. So for example, Dirty Goods is on 2 tracks on the mixtape. I didn't know him personally, but I admired his music still. My manager at the time hollered Dirty Goods' people, and Goods was kind enough to come through and bless the mixtape still.
It's lights, camera, action. For these street stars, it's been an absence. When we step up in the rave, it's a madness. We make our gal misbehave, badness.
When Goods came to the studio, I was working on the first production, and the way I heard it was that Goods and I were just going to blaze the tune, go bar for bar and whatnot, but Goods interpreted it in a different way.
Kind of like part of a little promo video business, isn't it? Build the whole thing up like that, show the process.
Kind of turned it into a girls' tune, with the premise of Goods and I kind of talking to our prospective wives or girls, whatever, and just letting them know what type of future they could have if they got with us.
Certain man's flex his name below notable. Chick's beauty's phenomenal, so bad who can use his honor. She don't back to breeze dudes, yeah, I'm on fade out. You also wash whack cause you ain't even getting paper.
Future, my sex game super. Shorty wanna ride shotgun, I said I wanna shoot ya. I'm a the executor. I can cool a girl cute and make her come on my maneuver.
After we made that track, I was sitting there playing Goods the rest of the mixtape, kind of letting him know the levels on that. And I started playing this next tune and I could tell the production took him. So Goods was vibing with the track and that, and I was like, look, listen bruv, it ain't like that. If you feel that you can contribute anything to any track that I'm playing, just let me know. So we agreed that Goods would do the chorus on this track. Laid down a couple of ideas and I was just like, it's not kind of clicking. So Goods came back on a separate day, came back with a third idea and smashed the chorus on this track.
Whoa. It might sound a little crazy, but as a kid I never thought I would grow up to be the greatest. I know you thought I wouldn't make it, I know you never would have thought I would grow up to be the greatest. It might sound a little crazy, but as a kid I never thought I would grow up to be the greatest. I know you thought I wouldn't make it, I know you never would have thought I would grow up to be the greatest.
You're talking to a true boss, pioneer self-made, ain't nobody help yet. And still I murked every brick off. I don't give a toss, clear out here, catch a loss, and I do not bow when the face off. Coming around here with your chest pull shot, and I send you back out with your face off. This figure black tie, you don't want me about, cause I make niggas that they can pull it off. If you're unlucky enough to come up against me, best thing you could do, bruv, pull it off.
And I was like, you know what, I took the first 2 verses, so I wanted Goods to take the 3rd verse so I can kind of capture that essence that I wanted to capture on the first track. Checklist was inspired by an artist called Smiler, because a couple years before he'd made a diss track and kind of aimed it at UK rappers that came out in a certain time period. And he mentioned Kalashnikov, Skinny Man, Black Twang, Ty, Task Force, and he mentioned me. When he mentioned my name, he said that I used to be his favourite rapper.
And Karl Hinds is washed up, used to be my favourite. Now if he dropped the disc, I wouldn't pay for it.
He later went on to say that the reason he made the diss track was that he wasn't happy with the fact that rappers that came out in that time period weren't opening the door to new blood, new artists and that.
I know, as an onlooker, I'm saying to myself, there were certain figures or people who I think were very, very powerful, so to speak, at one point, yeah? And I believe that they created certain avenues, opportunities, I'm not sure what the right word is to use, but they were in a good position where they could have basically pulled strings. And I don't really feel like it was capitalised on, do you get what I'm trying to say? So he's like, I'm reaching out and I'm saying, well, you know what, when you man had the opportunity to do something, I don't really feel like it was done.
So I felt like if he knew me, if he was a fan of my stuff, he wouldn't have put my name in that way and misrepresent my movement, because all we ever did was put out new artists.
True Karl Hinds fans need not be offended, yeah? But all these fake news trying to call my name, trying to go on as if you're really qualified to call my name, bruv. You really know hip hop, yeah? Really? Alright, check this, bruv, you get me? Listen, yeah. You dickheads know what the situ is. Checklist for brothers who really think they can ban my shit, is that right? First to see we street credit rating is. Fuck how much load you get, it's all about how you get that shit. If you're just a straight 9 to 5 money get up, then it's borderline as to whether my shit really reflects ya. Cause I'm gutter, so if you don't own some type of business where you get the cream, you should maybe follow some other rapper.
Was like, boom, if you say you're a Karl Hinds fan, you got to meet these checkpoints. And if you didn't meet them, you can't really go around saying you're a Karl Hinds fan. So it's kind of like, that's the premise of the track still.
Now how's your chick game if you ain't got some hot bit beside you in your whip? While you're bumping this shit, then stop playing it, cause you're perpetrating that your street when you're probably one of these dudes that stays at home and beats his meat. Furthermore, I don't make music for some potential rapist that's never touched a chick and don't know what a date is. Delete me from your playlist.
The collaboration was easy because his manager at the time is my cousin, so it was like he was family already. And it's interesting because I sampled the Red Hot Chili Peppers sample, and the original track I love. When I sent it to Midas, we bonded on the sample because he loved the same original track that I did.
And we ain't on that, let's get it done.
We're talking new whips and new chicks. Money turn up so we counting chips. We come from the poorest days and I don't wanna live that way. We're talking new whips and new chicks.
What else?
Money turn up so we counting chips.
That all?
We come from the poorest days and I don't wanna live that way.
Trust.
So that was the foundation of the cohesiveness of the collaboration still. So Midas did what he done at the time, what he does, and that's blaze the track. And I just kind of followed his direction, which is kind of the same thing I did with Goods on the earlier production. It's one of the first tracks that I worked on the mixtape. I think that's reflected in the subject matter. My perspective on the track is kind of like contemplating whether people think it's too late for me to be spitting like I was done at it or something. It's interesting because Jen and I had worked together before in my studio, but we hadn't featured on each other's projects. So I'd never been on his project, he'd never been on mine. We worked together on somebody else's project where I was engineering and he was a featured artist.
Yo, show 'em how these streets are, bro. Show 'em how these roads are.
Yo, welcome to the blocks. The cool is the bitch. The only hole we know most cool is the pits.
So I thought we needed to correct that, and I sent him the beat, and I kind of was hoping that he'd understand the direction that I was trying to go in. Jen got it instantly.
Woman used to love her, you know how I feel about this bitch. Had a couple kids, she took me traveling and made me rich. Almost, I ain't had a 9 to 5 since 06. Supposed to be in a recession, I ain't even noticed. But I'm with her for love, money was never that motive.
And this track is a prime example of what I was talking about earlier. She was a brand new artist, relatively unknown, and it was her first feature on an Ill Flavour project. A female perspective, like I said before, and I remember Monster being in the studio and being very quiet and reserved, but as soon as it was time for her to spit her verse and deliver her bars, she came to life in the booth. It's really strange to see. She was really quiet and then just blazed it. in the booth, like she always has done.
That's why I can't be around them random chicks turn stitch when you bang them. Can't handle a real bad girl, cause they don't spit and swallow and man them. Cause they got a little following random. But this ain't Twitter, bitch, it's the road. You wanna push me to my limit, I'm close. You wanna kick beef with it, cool.